Okay, this is Kira. Sorry for the lighting and everything. I had to freaking find something to freaking, make a video besides the freaking ugly little freaking thing in the face. I just couldn't do more videos like that. Besides, I got something kind of important I want to talk about. There's been talk of privilege. And specifically, when you talk about privilege, you talk about white privilege. Now, let's talk about white privilege for a minute. Now, white privilege has been described as, it doesn't matter if you're specifically privileged, they say, because if there's institutional racism, you always have the benefit of the doubt. Like if you're a white guy and you're trying to get in your car because you lost your keys in your car, a policeman will come to offer to help you instead of like if you're a black guy, he'll freaking come and freaking bust you, choke you, maybe kill you. Supposedly, that's white privilege. It's an institutionalized racism. So there's really no, they say, there's really no reverse discrimination. Or, because you can't be discriminated against if you're white because you are the preferred person. Your white privilege is like a freaking stream, and you're going with the stream. You don't really notice it until you turn against the stream and try to go back. That's what they say white privilege is. And that also goes for heterosexual privilege, cis privilege, freaking male privilege, not being disabled privilege, all these privileges, that if you aren't disabled, if you aren't part of the progressive stack, look that one up, you don't have anything to really talk about because you're privileged. And all of a sudden you're white privileged. Well, I'd like to debunk that, or at least freaking throw that into question, because, hey, I'm a fat, older, freaking, lower income white guy. But my non-privilege doesn't count because I'm cis, I'm male, I'm white. Oh, you don't have anything to worry about. You're on easy street. You're a straight white male. Oh, it must be so good for you. Bullshit on you. There is reverse discrimination. There's this plain discrimination, but I don't even believe in discrimination. I think these are socioeconomic abnormalities, at least in identity politics, that is gender, race, and sexuality, where, these are like false dichotomies. They are a false dichotomy, because even though you might be integrated, there's socioeconomic problems. And the problem with that is that when you have a socioeconomic problem, you're not considering all factors of the socioeconomic issue. Because when you put them all together, these disparities, obliterate in a puff of smoke, which they truly are. Which really all things are. Hey, like Pink Floyd said, everything under the sun is in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. And it's true. Yes, I use friggin' psychedelic heavy metal as a friggin' reference. Suck it. Because, it's not just suck it. There's a truth to it. We are reaching a future language of consensus about scarcity. That is what privilege is about. Scarcity. And we have to freaking realize that if we're having a talk about our aspect of first world problems, which aren't even first world, because the first world has not even been reached yet in the post-scarcity needed future, we're not even there yet. The privileged of privilege, whether it's economic, health, or freaking some kind of other status that isn't identity politics, like persons with land or economic or some kind of other true privilege, some socioeconomic status, don't have really what they should need. There should be a universal health care, a frigging affordable housing, and a minimum living wage. That's friggin' minimum privilege of a post-scarcity society. That's what we really want to be working with. Not this stupid identity politics. True, we don't want institutionalized racism, sexism, or a non-inclusive environment per se, but these issues are really a libertarian issue because they are, in some aspects, only part of an aspect of how you can be freaking stigmatized in a culture and lose your basic individual liberty principles that give you the minimum privilege that you should have. And identity politics deflects this into the true socioeconomic problems of what you should have as first world privilege for everyone, which is social liberty. And that is a socioeconomic problem, truly, with a post-scarcity aspect to it, and not a frigging identity politics of frigging the neo-Marxist, cultural Marxist left. You know, oh yes, the dreaded cultural Marxist. Everyone friggin' says, ooh, hoo, boo, hoo, when I say cultural Marxist. Too bad. It's part of the new language, and it's part of the language that people don't identify with yet because it doesn't have any political clout. Well, soon, and hopefully with people like me, it will have some clout because I care more about somebody freaking being disadvantaged or displaced than I care about someone being freaking discriminated against in Indiana or freaking misgendered or being culturally disassimilated because of their freaking ethos. You know, identity politics can go as far as I'm concerned. White, male, and proud, and have freaking straight and want my freaking identity to mean something and not be villainized. And look around you sometime objectively, no matter what race you are, and look at people around and see how whites are vilified. See how the freaking identity politics works poison for the culture of freaking white males and freaking heterosexual normative society by gender. See the poison for what it is. We're supposed to be a democracy, and that means that freaking it's the will of the people. Well, the people are being subverted by the will of the vocal minority, and that's not good. It's somewhat good if it's truly a sheep with two wolves, but most of the time, this is a friggin' wolf with friggin' sheep, and that's getting to be the problem. Don't tell me about friggin' identity politics. Don't tell me about friggin' white privilege. If you're not the right kind of white, you don't get that privilege. Look at the friggin' European history. The Catholics, the Protestants, the wars, the friggin' civil wars, the friggin' things between friggin' people who were just getting slaughtered. It is a misnomer of privilege to friggin' think that white, and I dare you to friggin' identify what ethnicity white is. What is white? In ethnic terms. No. It's only self-identifying. That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out for the progressive left, and it needs to stop. If we want to evolve a new language in our diversity, in our freaking future, we need to take away from the past only what's useful and get rid of the frigging cultural bulwarks that friggin' run this nation and friggin' poison true liberal values. There needs to be a third wave consensus between the new left and the freaking old libertarian. There needs to be a third liberty thought. Social liberty. And I think I'm it. or at least I'm something that's onto it. You know, maybe that makes me a communitarian, maybe makes me a post-futurist. I don't really know what that makes me. I hope it doesn't make me a socialist, for God's sakes, because I'm completely against that. Although I do have problems with capitalism because I'm economically progressive, so I don't know. You know what, I'm an atheist. Hey, still an atheist. You know, not shucking away from that, but damn it, if all that the freaking other people who claim to be atheists in the atheist community push a freaking gay agenda, a freaking non-white agenda, and a freaking non-binary agenda on me. You know, I'm straight, or at least I think I'm straight. I don't know, I identify as straight, and I'm proud to be straight, so I'm straight. You know, whatever I really am, whatever, you know. There shouldn't be a freaking shame factor in our sexuality. I believe in sexual freedom. So in a lot of ways, I believe in a lot of freedoms. I specifically, as my core beliefs, believe in freedom, liberty, and justice. Now, I don't know if I apply social to any of those things, except maybe freedom. Social freedoms, fine. Social liberty, fine. Social justice, not the kind of justice I see with these freaking people. I am against freaking the progressive left. And freaking, although I am possibly somewhat progressively left in social economic terms. That's what I believe. So spare me the white privilege. I think Tom Cruise said it in Born 4th of July. White privilege? Where's my privilege? Where the hell is my privilege? We need to live in a post-scarcity future, and I'm tired of hearing this crap over and over again, especially on the tubes. I grew up in an area where it was predominantly minority. It was by a freaking college, so there's a lot of women, and it was all non-inclusive to the smallest minority. Ooh, the poor white straight guy who doesn't have money to get above it. You bet, man. Ooh, give me the money. Honey. You know, a friggin' straight white friggin' rich male is looking pretty good to me because, but believe me, ain't no white straight male gonna help this brother out. I am down in the dirt with the rest of you. So please don't tell me about privilege. Mine is still a rebate coming in the mail. Thank you, this is Curious, and I'm coming at you again. And I will be again too. Oh look, he's not so white. Ooh, he's kind of shaded. Maybe I'm shady. Who knows? Good night.